Hello there, it's me, Sari here again, and today I'm back with some of the bird crazy stamp images that I have coloured. I've sort of become quite fascinated by them, and I just thought I'd show you how I have coloured these, and I'll also be making a tutorial trying to make it work. Mostly I like to sit down while colouring while this tripod thing is in my standing workspace, so I might not succeed as well, but I think I'll be able to show you anyway how I do this. So I spent almost a day colouring these, so you can understand that I'm going back and back and back and just re-adding colour. But I'll show you how it can be made with less effort, or perhaps a little effort. And I'm not a colouring artist per se, but I do like to find my way making these. And these you saw in my video yesterday when I was masking these figures together and just highlighting the fact that when you are placing masks, word masks or whatever, please make sure that you don't have anything of strength around the eyes, because then the eyes will get lost in the text. So that is something that I learned. And you might also have to think about a little bit about how well your masks are cut, so you'll be able to see the legs and everything. Of course you can go in and alter it afterwards, but please pay attention to while you are doing it. And these are the first ones. This is the first funny character I did, and I continued with him. And I suppose that I do like these the best, since I tend to go back to them all the time. And after today, or yesterday I should say, I got an idea where I wanted to incorporate these birds with whatever stamps I had lying around, and I'll be back. I had some sort of a collage idea in my head, and I wanted to make it work with just some random stamps that I had lying around. And this is a set of stamps. Could it be Teresa Collins? I'm not sure, but it could be perhaps. So I used This Is Me, and I used It's a Beautiful Wonderful Day and everything. So there are some stamp sets, my mind's eye. These are for Project Life, but I thought that they could be nice to work with when it comes to making. So I did pick out quite a few stamps, but I didn't use them all. I used the camera from this clear stamp set from Craft, as well as this one, Little Moments, Big Memories. And I'm not sure I used anything of this one. Best Day Ever, I think I used. And I used this one, I stamped it in orange. And finally, I got to use my kite. This is the first time I used it. Bought this set quite a few years ago, but I haven't used it until now. And I used the beautiful butterfly here from Craft. It's a set of Curiosity, this one is called, if you are interested. It's a beautiful butterfly. And then I went ahead using this Magic Happens stamp, and I used the create word there. And then I used the doodling and the pen and the hashtag. And I think that was about it. Well, I do have a couple of more small stamp sets. So I did go there using the small star there, those stars there. And I just looked for small items that could enhance the project. Now is the time is also something that I used. And I used the star. I thought that the star was wonderful with the stripes and everything. So just challenge yourself using whatever kinds of stamps you've got at home, small enough I mean. I started off putting the bird there, masking it off and then stamping around it, and I did the same thing there. But before I did that, I actually did draw a line 5 centimeters in on the paper. And I just felt like having this as a frame for something. I'm not sure what to do with it. I just wanted to try it out, you see. But of course, when I wanted to go there today, this morning, with yet some other stamps, I stamped this one and then I dropped the clear block, So there's a mishap there. I'm not that happy about it, so I'm just a little bit aggravated. So I should stop, leave things well alone, I should say. But I'm not going to linger on there. I'll just be going on with the stamping. I haven't got a paper. Hang on. Now I do. So I'm just going to use this funny figure. And I'm going to stamp it or ink it up with some VersaFine. And I'm light on my hand, mind you. So in this case, I'll be putting him, I'm calling him a him. It does look like a him, doesn't it? So let's see if I have been able to put it there right. So it does get a little bit, it's not completely black. So let's see if I should add on some more ink, or perhaps this one needs some re-inking. Could be that it has done its job and won't give me more than that. Let's see. Well, it doesn't give that much more. It got a little bit better, it did. So let's see. I'm using a new brush that I got from Scrapbooking. This one comes from Prima Marketing. I was having this class, stamping technique class, and I felt like I wanted enough water brushes to go along to all of us. So what I usually do is I stamp off a little bit of ink from the small ink pads from Distress on an acrylic block. But having seen the video of Christina Werner when she is watercoloring, she used a laminated white piece of paper, which was slick on the outside, just to be able to see what the color is. I usually have a white piece of paper underneath the block, and that works all right, I think. But I do believe that her idea is better. So I don't have any laminating sheets at home, so I just felt like going for a shrink plastic bit of paper. I mean, this is a slickery surface and everything, so I'm hoping this will suffice and make a good job for me. So what I have used here is peacock feathers, tumbled glass, crushed olive, mowed lawn, peel paint, as well as ripe persimmon, spiced marmalade, mustard seed and Victorian velvet. I just picked these colours at a random, but I must admit that my eyes tend to draw to these a little bit stronger colours. I do like them. And I'm keeping all of my small ink pads. I haven't got more than these, but it's quite enough, I must say, in a small jar like this, and I can actually fit the lid on as well, so when I'm travelling. But let's get busy. Perhaps I should start by, well, I could start. When it comes to colouring, I usually go for something a little bit lighter, and I tend to go stronger around the edges after a while. So I'm thinking that perhaps the beak needs to be orange, so I'm starting with the beak this time. I hope you can see me there. Just have to think about not getting out of focus or out of frame, because I tend to forget about myself sometimes when I get active. Do you see? I'm just picking up the color like so with that brush, because in some magical way it just dispenses the color out. And I'm just putting it in here, and I do also work with a sort of a dropping method, and that way I'm getting a sort of uneven look. And when I have too much color on my brush, I just wipe it off on a piece of paper, scrap piece of paper really. And usually I go for, in this case I have colored the bird green, but I do tend to go for the blue and orange colors. I'm not sure why, but I just tend to draw to them. So let's see, should I go for something green perhaps? And the trick is, of course, that you take a little bit of color and you put it alongside a line like this. And you can just swipe it like this, make it go around, just work in a circular motion and let the color go as far as you can get it to go, stretch it. And I'm just working in a really small motion like this. And there are places where I want more colour than others. So of course I apply the colour there, but I'll be going back there with more colour after. And in this case there is too much here, so what I tend to do is take a little bit of paper, hang on. So I tend to re-wet the surface with some just plain water, wipe the brush clean, and put on some more water and just dab it off. So I can actually lift the ink off and get it a little bit lighter. Because, I mean, there is a trick to this, as I'm sure. I mean, I haven't been colouring that long. And you should just go back and back and back with just a little bit more every time. Just take it easy. Just take your time. I mean, this is pretty therapeutic, I must say. I mean, if you have no vacation plans or whatever, just take a couple of stamped images with you and a brush and some colours, and then you're ready to set go. I mean, you're going to have a really nice, relaxing time. And I must say that I need to practice not doing anything, because my brain is always working. I'm always busy coming up with new plans, and sometimes I'm even busy reprimanding myself for not doing enough. So there you have me. My mind is always busy. It's some kind of guilt tripping, I must say. I'm not sure why. I mean, for goodness sake, I'm 47 years of age. Should not have any more guilt tripping. Perhaps I should make this a promise to myself. Well, in this case, I think I'll just go for some tumbled glass. It's a light blue colour. And I tend to start from the top and work myself down and stretching the colour as I go along. Always starting at the place where I started first. Just to make, and then swiftly move downwards so I can get a paler colour down below. Because I do want the intensity to be on a certain place, and in this case I just chose it to be up here. So swiftly move across or down there. And in this case you have a smaller area, but still you could make the strongness of the colour or the intensity of the colour more visible up here. Just drop a little bit of colour there, and remember to wipe your brush. So now I have a basis for my stamp, haven't I? So this is where we are right now, and most preferably you should dry this perhaps with a heat gun or something, but now I'm going to go back, and I'm using peeled paint as a colour, and mostly I just put a couple of drops there, wipe the brush and go back and make the colour stretch. I go back and I start in a different place, and I just smoothen it out, so to speak. Let's see if I can get closer. So just put a little small dots like that, clean the brush, so I have some new fresh water coming out there. And this is a place I might actually fill in a little bit better. So this is how I work, and I'm just going to add on a couple of colours here. Wipe the brush and make sure that you have a smooth finish. Wipe the brush and go back. Let's see, I'm going back and wipe the brush in between. Just brush it gently like that. I might actually go with the beak a little bit, and I'm thinking it might be the same spiced marmalade here. It could be. Wipe the brush. Just give it some highlight there. I was thinking that perhaps I could go for the ripe persimmon. It's a little bit a stronger orange colour. Wipe the brush and just drag it out. And I'm intentionally, let's see where we are here, leaving a little bit of white there because I think that gives it some interest as well. So let's see, should I go for something peacock feathers perhaps? I could go with some little bit more blue. Could also put it there. Wipe the brush. Just drag the colour on. And I think I'll just start from here because I do want that colour to go a little bit further, like so. So what should I do now? Well, I'm thinking that I might go in with another layer actually. So start with some dots. And just put those dots here and there, not on the complete motif. Just put it here and there. Because they will fade away a little bit. And if you're afraid that it's going to be a bit splotchy or too visible with a splotch, just try to soften it out, but still give it some character. And just work around the object, but not completely filling every corner and every bit. Just look at the places where you think that you should have something more, a little bit more color. And then I do have that mowed lawn, but I'm thinking that it might be a little bit too green for this project, but I might actually give it a green mohawk thingy there perhaps. But you might as well just put in a little, because you don't have to put a lot, just a little bit here and there. A little goes a long way. And you shouldn't be afraid of mixing in another color here as well. I mean, sometimes I go for perhaps something brownish or something else just to break it off. Let's see, perhaps I should go for something brown. Well, in this case, I'm actually going to go for the pumice stone. I'm just going to take it like that and swipe it like that on there. So now it's there. And a clean brush, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of color. And make sure that the bristles or the brush itself isn't too wide when you start coloring, because then perhaps you're getting too much color. Just take a couple of dabbings like that. And continue. Just put a little bit of color there. And this is something that you could fiddle with hour after hour if you wanted to. I mean, the longer you work at it, the more concentrated you are, and the more focused you are, and the more committed you are to something. So let's see. I'm going to zoom it up like this. So this is what it looks like right now. You can see the watercolory effect there. I'm thinking that this might be a little bit too strong. So all I have to do is just go over with the brush and make it go softer. So that's the beauty of it. And just by doing that, I'm getting a deep sort of a depth thingy there, working like that. And of course, if you want to, you could make this into a background thingy if you wanted to. Let's see if I can make another video with this. I'm just going to turn the image upside down because I don't want to hassle with the color there. There are people, I mean, sometimes I fancy wetting the surface first. Let's see if I'm even getting any water. Because then the color can work its magic. Then I'm not in control anymore, because then I have just prepped this. And just look at the color going there. And clean the brush in between and wet a new surface. Just to make the color wander by itself. And I'm picking up this pumice stone just to put a soft base to this, and just put the color here and there and let it move. And more water. And more pumice stone. So the more water you have, the easier this color will spread and move. So I think I'll just put a little bit more water there, more pumice stone. So this is also something you could work with. I mean, you can of course manipulate the color to go here and there. You could also make it more softer just by adding more water and lifting off color. So this is also where you could go there, and I mean, you can hardly see that there is any color, but there is a little bit, I must say. So if I'm going to go with a stronger color, now in this case, well, I could re-wet it, I suppose, but then I'll be getting that pumice stone. So I had better just go in with the green. And remember to wipe it off, so you won't get that strong color at once. and just lift off a little bit. It's better to have a little and add on afterwards. Just work it really. And just enjoy the process really, I must say. Do not rush this. Have fun. Let's see if I can have it there. So I find these water container brushes really nice to work with. I mean, I don't have to worry about getting the water all over the place. I mean, I'm the kind of a person that actually would really well see myself succeeding with that time after time, just doing a fast motion, and then oops, suddenly I have more things to do. So I'm actually enjoying these. I mean, and I don't, some of these brushes that I have tried, they've had a really strong water flow, and that is not all right. I mean, you still want to feel like you sort of control the flow yourself. I mean, I'm not even pressing this. It's just working by itself really. So I don't have to worry about this. It's doing the job for me really. Can't stress that enough. So now I'm picking up some peacock feathers just to make a strong mohawk. And let's see, should I dare to go there with some orange perhaps? And you see, I'm just dabbing on color here and there just to create some depth. So there we got a little bit strong. There is something about that bit of the motif that actually is giving me a hard time. I have to pay attention to that a little bit better. So let's make the beak go a little bit orange as usual. Perhaps I should make a blue beak for once. Not today though. Let's see, I do have some pumice stone. I don't believe it's going to be visible enough, but I'm just going to put it there anyway. I mean, it's a subtle effect. There's something going on there. Wipe the brush in between. And if I want more water, I'm just going to squeeze it in the center, and there it comes. So in that way I can actually lift off more paint or ink. So what color should the wings be? Well, I think I'll go for orange. And this is, now there is a lot of water, so I'm just going to wipe it off and stretch the orange color. And now there's quite a lot of water, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful about how much I'm going to add there, because otherwise there could be a risk of the color just flowing outside the image, and I might have a difficult time erasing too much of color there. And I'm also a little bit aware of putting the paper there, because if there's too much water, it's still going to go outside the image. So I'm just going to let it dry by itself. But this is how I work, so perhaps I should go in with some more. I'm just going to go wild here. I'm going to put in some orange now. It's the spiced marmalade, just to give it some definition. And I'm wiping the brush in between, just adding on a couple of droplets there. Not make it too much. So just by adding some more color, and perhaps colors that you wouldn't even imagine using, just go there, try it out. I mean, it's a piece of paper. If you're not happy, throw it away. If you are happy and perhaps you've learned something new, embrace that. So with that orange colour, I sort of managed to give it some warmth, I must say. And I'm keeping the bird a little bit more pale here because I'm thinking that it's hit by light somehow. So there you have it. I think I'll stop before I mess this up even more. So good luck with your colouring. I mean, you could go for the Prima's watercolour pens, and I'm sure this brush is going to work just beautifully with that. But I do tend to fancy using these from time and time again. And I also like to use the stain bottles when it comes to colouring. I mean, I just blotch off a little bit of ink here and I pick up the colour from there. So there are many ways to colour. Just choose or find your favourite method, and I wish you luck. Both my thumbs up. And well, that's it. I'm signing off right now. Bye bye.